so controversial.
Why? You should be in
Just need to
prison.
shake him.
You should be in prison. We bailed you out. We bailed you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You're facing charges.
Final day of the season hype. Are you ready?
Oi, I'm more than ready. I've been ready. More than you believe.
More than you believe.
More than you believe.
Ready for the season to end. More than you can believe.
More than you believe.
More than you can believe. Hello, people, man. We're in the building. The final day preview. It's been a long road to get here. I remember the hope. It's so funny because beginning of the season when we smacked Leeds 5-1, it was all optimism and thinking what's possible. Arsenal fans less so. You lot were
Dare to dream.
You lot were reeling off of a 2-0 loss to Brentford, thinking, fam, if we're getting packed by the newcomers on the first day of the season, what hope do we really have? And over the course of the season, they switched. You lot started getting the optimism a little bit. United started losing it. It's just been a funny road. It's been a funny road to get to here. Alrighty. Shem, promote the beard oil. What beard oil are you using? Ricky said, "Rah, Shem's beard looking strong." What beard oil promote? Is it a black? Is it a black business?
I think Ricky, is that Ricky Bowley that said that?
Ricky Bowley.
I think Ricky Bowley's barber gave me the beard oil.
Who's barber?
Ricky Bowley's barber gave me the beard oil.
Ricky Bowley's barber. The same beard oil that Ricky uses. Say less.
Yeah, them ones. So
Them ones.
how do you think this season, like how fast in compared to previous seasons? Obviously, when you get to the end of the season, that's when you know. But how fast do you think this season's been in terms of like?
It's been a slow season for when your team's doing rubbish. It feels like a slow slog of a season where you just have where you're just watching your team every single week be rubbish, and it feels like the games never stop. There was a time when watching United just felt oppressive. It felt like there was too many games in too short a period of time, and was just watching United lose and lose.
It's funny you say that because today's task at work. Today's task at work, I was assigned cutting up all the trophy lists for Fergie. All 13 of them. It's not easy going back to cameras from 1992. No. Fun fact. Do you know how many times Fergie picked up the trophy on the trophy lift day? Like,
how many times?
Like 4.
He picked up 4 times?
Like alone.
So there's like 4 different pictures, 4 different times where he's picked up the trophy.
What the hell, Tops? Yeah, like in all 13 of Fergie's like Premier League.
Oh, in all 13.
In all 13 of Fergie's Premier League.
I thought that was in one. I thought that was like one.
No,
one
in 13 of Fergie's Alex Ferguson's trophy lifts on like the final day when he celebrates. You know, you have one of Mourinho Drogba and Mourinho that play Mourinho running with it. That was actually Drogba actually, but them lifting it like single-handedly standing. Wenger's got one. Everyone's got one. Fergie, in all 13 of them, he had like 4.
He's got 4.
Maybe the first one in 92, he held it like that and put it. Bruv, it was a tough. But my point being, today's work was quite difficult because I had to find
pictures in
the perfect video of Fergie holding it because he doesn't. He literally just gives it. He just passes it on.
It's not about me. It's about my stars.
Even when it became about him. But I say that to say this. You guys, what Liverpool are doing now and City are saying dominating the league. We didn't live in an era when when they say Liverpool dominated the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I get, and everybody hated Liverpool. I don't believe it could have been like how Man United dominated the 90s and the 20s. Jesus wept. I was watching because you had to go through all these videos and look at the league tables to find events and go back to certain days on the cameras. Jesus wept. You lot were doing double, triple, double, triple, double. You rarely won it as a single. And the thing is,
double go back to back.
Back to back or treble. Back to back. Or you just and you were competing with one team a year, and 1 year in 3, you'd clear the league. And it was very interesting because just before we go to the end of season, I know we've drifted. It's very interesting because there's been a debate about how the league was not competitive then. In all the seasons, if I'm being honest, in all the 13 wins, I say about 3 of them were competitive.
3. What do you mean by competitive? What do you mean by competitive?
By competitive, I mean like if I go to the league table on the last day, it's like ooh, like a hair's width away from from you lot losing. I think one of them was 1999. 1999 was down to the last, more or less down to the last day. Another year, like 3 teams came third on 68 points, like, and then you guys were clear with like 5 points clear. But my point being, it wasn't close. And then the thing is also what the points you needed to win back then as well, substantially low. I think you won with like 78 points one season.
Yeah.
You won with 82 points, you won with 78 points. So it's weird. It's weird. And then one season, they was playing 42 games for the first 2 seasons. The points tally was low still, considering it was 42 points. But anyway, that being said, this new era of football, and it was just beautiful to go back. That's all I've been doing today, and going back for all them years. That's why I took long to jump on.
Yeah, Shem was working hard today. Fam, man was racing home from work, thinking, "Am I even gonna make it in time for this stream?" But Shem, he always makes it. Just on that, the strength of the league talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more important to look at not only how far ahead United finishes of second, third, but what second, third, fourth are doing to like what blows are they taking off of each other, and what blows were they able to put onto United. I think that's
in terms of like the competition in big games.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. That's when I look at the league now, I think, well, you used to have Arsenal, United, Chelsea, and then Liverpool, and then City to later on. But you used to have those 3, mainly those 3 teams: Arsenal, United, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, Chelsea. They used to be competing. Now, I'd say they've moved closer to the mid-table teams rather than the mid-table teams have moved closer to Liverpool.
Yeah, that's true. And them moving closer is because of there's no disparity in wealth anymore. Like the wealth gap between
it's reducing.
It's significantly, especially, and well, with you guys, it's more like your spending's been poor. With Arsenal, there's no big disparity anymore. There's no first mover advantage anymore in terms of you being able to attract certain names. Like everywhere is attractive now. Like someone from League from the Uber Eats would happily go and play at Brentford, or would happily go and play in Newcastle post pre-takeover. Do you get what I mean? So it's like that first mover advantage is gone, and in most leagues as well. And I guess that's what you aim for, to make it competitive. But at the same time, I do miss beating the shit out of little teams. I do miss it. I can't lie to you. I don't like this.
There used to be bankers in this league.
There used to be bankers. Accumulators didn't probably exist back then.
There was a quote that I saw on the TL from Jose Mourinho, I think it was when Liverpool beat Tottenham. They must have pumped him, and he was in his crybaby bag. It was like, in this league before there were teams.
Yeah, I saw that. And you said this is not doing what it's supposed to do for you.
I'm thinking, yeah, there used to be, because teams like United, teams like Chelsea, teams like Arsenal used to be very good. That's why you could tick them off. Now you're rubbish, so you can't tick off those.
Only
teams.
City really tick off teams like that, like
only touch City teams. And Liverpool.
Liverpool will edge it, like Liverpool, but they'll still win. But Liverpool will win. But City literally tick off teams. Like Burnley come Etihad, you hold 5. You hold 5. You're getting 5. You just beg for 4, but you're getting 5.
City can tick off teams. Liverpool to a certain extent tick off teams. United, Arsenal, Chelsea don't even attempt to tick off. You're not that guy anymore. You're not that guy to tick off teams anymore.
I would say this though. I don't feel the Prem's ever getting back to, like, obviously spell of dominance. You could say City's dominating. It's 4 and 5, and in the decade, if you use the whole decade, they're doing well. But dominance in terms of what Man United did, because Man United winning, actually City's doing it. Because when Man United used to win, it got boring. It got boring for rival fans.
No. I don't. Oh, for rival.
Not for you lot. You lot was winning. For rival fans, when you lot, when I knew it got boring. 09. You lot three-peated. No one cared. It's when we look back on it now, we deep like raw. Man United won 07, 08, 09. and that wasn't your first three-peat.
I mean, but the Premier League was it like there was I don't know what it was, but I think maybe it's because we had Chelsea.
There was
Chelsea,
no competition.
Chelsea.
There was no competition. In 07,
It's not even.
you,
It's,
in
it was
07 you lot
but it
played
was
that
tasty
league.
at the top back then. It was tasty at the top. The top
In 07,
when Arsenal, when United and Liverpool, when United and Arsenal faced each other, it still meant something. So it wasn't
Back
boring
then,
because these
it's still not
these
boring though. But like you get Arsenal get touched.
Arsenal United has gone boring. Arsenal is only
Oh,
on
Arsenal United. Sorry, I
like
thought you meant
Arsenal
like
United Chelsea. Like these used to be tasty battles that used to decide.
United Chelsea was good for 5 years. That's it.
5 years.
Yeah.
I give that a 7-year stretch. That's a 8 year stretch. 7-8 year stretch.
But I'm gonna say this. It's like it swings around, like it goes, like tides change, like ebbs and flows. Generally speaking, everybody. Why I say Man United has been peak is because we say tides change. This is like now they're not in the mix, but it's always them and someone. Man United and Blackburn, Man United and Newcastle, Man United and Arsenal, Man United and Chelsea, Man United and City, Man United and Liverpool.
That's what makes it exciting. It was different teams. Now it's just
no. Wait, what? Did you not hear what I said? One team remained constant.
Yeah, but we made like we was competing against them. It was different every year.
Everybody was competing with you. It wasn't different every year. It was every 4 years it changed.
Yeah, you lot rotated. Bad B, just rotate around.
Yeah,
the table.
But now what I'm saying is now I don't think we're gonna get that unless City just continue to because once Pep leaves, they're gonna come down. It's not possible for them to stay at that level. Once Pep leaves, naturally, it's just gonna simmer down. But yeah, let's leave nostalgia lane and let's come back to today's game.
Alright, man.
Wait, hold on. Let's get through some comments first, Banks. I think we're getting dragged. I'm getting dragged.
We get dragged.
Yeah.
He's dragging me by my collar.
Shout out Tox for getting in the stream as well. Big up Tox. The beard connoisseur. The real beard bastard.
Shem in the Tesla. You got a little Tesla. You got a Tesla, Shem.
I think he's saying because I was whizzing it, I was speeding home.
You got whizzing in the Tesla, innit? Sammy, Pep is built different. Don't expect much. He can't be here forever, man.
It's not possible. And sidebar, it's very obvious that Pep's gonna renew because Klopp renewed. These men are funny.
Sneaks, just hugging each other. Just hugging each other.
I get you, Shems. Them Arsenal annual 4-5 drubbings of Blackburn, Norwich. Yeah, bruv. Certain teams would hold. You're gonna hold it. Highbury, you hold it. Emirates, early days, you hold it. You hold it.
Now, facts. To be fair, there were some teams that came. Like Emirates has always been a place where certain teams come and you just hold a good. It's a football battering as well because that's when you look when the sun's out and you lot get to play your football. That's when you'd batter teams.
It's funny because people come and say, yeah, obviously Dini in recent years saying you ain't got cojones, and even in the Emirates era, you used to kick chance out of us when we go there. But when you get popped at Emirates, a lot of small teams left understanding there's a difference between kicking ball and being a footballer.
Facts. But that's when the conditions are good for you, and that's when it's nice, and that's when the sun's out, and everybody wants to play football. Everyone's on their game. Like that's exactly what he's saying though. Like when it gets nasty and you lot need to dig in, you lot couldn't dig in. But when it's sunny and it's 3 p.m., you're facing Norwich at home. Like that's when that's when the football would come out, and that's when there's no chance.
Norwich will hold it, Middlesbrough will hold it, all them teams holding it. But let's quickly move to Liverpool. Need passion last minute winners a lot of the time. City would win. Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Nathan said City are the only team that could break that United 9-0 record. Low.
Big up Stan the man. I've never seen you in the comments.
Stan the man came to drop 3 words. No CL though.
You had to drop a little Arsenal slander.
Fair enough. And he left. Literally. You know he dropped that and left. Don't be surprised if the Perm or Paul tried dead off Klopp. What does he mean by that?
Jesus. This is not the play. Don't start a clock conspiracy in these comments.
It's like United back in the day used to fry them. Yeah. But it was 2 seasons though. United held it from Villa though. Martin O'Neill days. Holding all night vigil for Villa for Norwich. That's a perfect transition. Sent to that, Rick. So last games of the season. Should we start with the main talking points?
Yeah, let's start. Let me give some context to the league table. So 37 games played amongst every single Premier League team. We're going into
Finally
the
balanced.
fan,
Finally balanced it. Damn.
final round of games. All going to be kicked off 4 p.m. on a Sunday. All the referees going to be in their ears waiting for the. You ready?
Conference call.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Conference call.
You ready?
You ready?
We're going to kick off at 4 p.m. At the top of the table, everything still to play for. 1 point separating Manchester City and Liverpool. 1 point. Manchester City are going to be at home to against Aston Villa, while Liverpool are going to be at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Don't you just love the Premier League script writers just went brazy. They just like we have to accept they went brazy.
We're ending it in West Midlands.
We're doing it. We're doing it like this. I don't care if you like it. We're making this a movie. That's what we're doing. We're making it a
West
movie.
Midlands or bust.
Because Man City need to win, otherwise they've opened the door up for a potential Liverpool overtake. If Liverpool beat Wolves and City drop points against Aston Villa, Liverpool will be the new Premier League champions. Lavish, what are the chances that Liverpool lift the Premier League title on Sunday? I
think because I think they're both going to win.
Wait, sorry. I didn't even add the extra bit that the script.
The context. What the context? I was thinking, where's it coming in?
I didn't even finish the context. Sorry. We have to remember that the team that could stop Manchester City from winning the Premier League is none other than Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa, led by former Liverpool Red Felipe Coutinho. You can't. This is the football gods writing the scripts at his best. There's been no better script written.
I promise you.
Go ahead. Answer the question. What do you is there
Steven
a chance?
Steven Gerrard is a sick man, and here's why. Because correct me if I am wrong. And people say, "Oh no," because him and Buendia can't play on the same team. Coutinho was rested against Burnley. Steven Gerrard rested Coutinho against Burnley. He's a sicko. He rested, and that's match fixing. So he went and rested Coutinho for this game against City. And if Aston Villa managed to rise it on Man City, that would be hilarious. Because for me, I've stopped, like, after the Newcastle result for us, I've stopped caring about football personally. So whoever wins personally, whoever wins. But I genuinely believe we're going to see Kevin De Bruyne 3 minutes in, 5-0 City. It's not going to be anything like, I think we're going to be quite upset, the Sky broadcasters, how everything's going to be written off in the first half. So like Martin Tyler is going to be even more drab than we normally hear from. So in terms of Liverpool, I feel Liverpool's just going to win 2-1 against Wolves.
Nathan said that Aston Villa 5-4-1 is going to be nasty. Yeah, he's setting up to do something nasty to Man City. Come and break us down if you can.
So Liverpool walk home domestic cup double, and City would walk home with the Prem. It's a good split.
What are you saying? Swap that. Gerrard to right his wrongs. What are you saying? Does the slip get erased if he manages to do this for?
I feel like if Gerrard manages to do this and beat Aston Villa, and Aston Villa beat Man City, all I'm gonna say is this: it's from Manchester, like from Manchester to Liverpool's an hour. I feel like he's gonna leave Manchester's Etihad and get to Anfield within about an hour and 10 minutes, and he's just gonna see, and he's Gerrard's got a box at Anfield anyway, but he's he's gonna get fast train, and he's just gonna get there, and he's just gonna act like he's always been there. But, so it's not obvious.
Imagine him walking around. You know that slow, stupid walk.
What, the lap? Or if because there's going to be no lap of honor for the Villa players, so they've got to get out of Etihad as quick as possible. But Gerrard's going to rush them like, you lot, let's just go.
No, it's all right. You'll shower in Birmingham. Don't worry. You'll shower in Birmingham.
But let's just make a quick stop, yeah. Just make a quick stop.
Oh, the Liverpool stop. Where's the coach going? Well, he said it to Liverpool. What? Nah.
So I don't know. I feel like the first and second battle's written. if you want to slide a bit lower down into the table, you got third, which is written. I think Chelsea played. They just played Leicester, didn't they? So who's their last game?
Chelsea on the beach. Forget about
Chelsea at the
They're on
beach, and Chelsea got Watford, and Chelsea on the beach. Watford's gone, Chelsea's gone. They're both at the beach. For me, I'll start these type of games. You start Cho and Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
One thing I want to say about the City Aston Villa game, this is another chance for City to prove their cojones, because you think about the run they've had under Pep, and again we think about the way they've dominated English football essentially for the last 6-7 years, whatever it is, and they've never really had to show a lot of crunch time metal. I would say the 2019 title run. Huh? You don't think that's fair? I think they've been so good that they've never really had.
That's not fair.
Anything down the stretch to worry about.
Your first sentence contradicts what your point. The reason why I say that is because you can only say they've never had to have crunch time because they've only been so good, but being good means that they've dealt with the crunch time. 2019, we all know that Leicester goal was humongous for Company. That was peak still.
Not only the Leicester goal, the win against Liverpool as well. I'm not denying. That's why I said 2019 they showed cojones, but there's been multiple times where in the crunch matches when they've had to show up, they haven't showed up.
And that was the season. You're thinking of the season where Liverpool won the 2020.
No, I'm just talking in general. Now I'm talking Champions League as well.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so I thought you meant domestically.
General, there's been times when the pressure has been on for City and they haven't shown up. This is like as high pressure as it's gonna get for them this season. That final day, you need to win against Aston Villa at home. This is an opportunity for them to.
I think there's been more pressure. I think there's been more pressure. I think the pressure's been higher for City domestically, and they've dealt with it. But anything can happen, like we all know. But I don't agree though that domestically they've not had a lot of times to.
I don't think they've had a lot of opportunities to show metal. Like again, we talk. It's definitely
that 2019 season was a lot tougher than this. The 2019 season where they literally both did like 90, 92 or 90, 99 points or 100 points. They was going bang for bang.
100%.
But you know when Chisora versus White, bang for bang, like
it's
just swinging.
The same thing this season, though. It's essentially the same thing this season.
Nah, I feel like this season there were points, like there was gaps. Like okay, someone went 10 points clear. Obviously, one had 2 games in hand, and then they went 4 points clear with a little bit of a cushion. And almost now it's like if City win, they're fine. But then it was like the way it was set up that season, 2019. I remember specifically Liverpool were like maybe 1 point behind. And they were always playing the game first. So, like, they kept interchanging, obviously, because one always had a game in hand. So, psychologically, what that does to you. Whereas this season, it's like the gap will be 4 points. Liverpool will play first. It closes to 1 point. But Man City is still on top. And then they put it back to 4. So, it's just like they're just trying to close gaps like that. Whereas the last one was just interchanging, if that makes sense. But I still don't, you never know in the last game. And let's just have an entertaining final day.
I feel like this is the sort of game where Ollie Watkins just causes the centre backs crazy Problems. Like Ollie Watkins is one of them.
Do you think Liverpool beat Wolves though?
Yeah, Liverpool beat Wolves. Conor Cody's in the back line. He's going to make sure of that.
Liverpool's got plants. They've
agents everywhere. Agents everywhere.
And this is the game. And this is the comments. Please, people in the comments, please listen. This is the importance of having a good youth system and having a good foundation, because you can have agents everywhere. The best team at this would have been Chelsea. There's no way you look in the Premier League. Yeah, you want to play Southampton? Brojo Livramento, rise it. Want to go to Palace? Right. Everywhere and anywhere. We've got affiliations.
Just have agents ready. Just have people ready to further your
cause. Got nada, nothing. Nada. Nish.
Nada nish. I'm watching Isco and Marcelo's last game for us right now. I'm broken. Marcelo's leaving. That's a legend of the sport.
Sammy, give it a rest.
Legend of the sport.
Sammy, give it a rest.
Be fair.
Sammy, give it a rest. We all saw Marcelo. We saw when Marcelo came on against Chelsea the last 10 minutes. He could barely move.
That's a legend of the game.
Marcelo could barely move. I don't know how Marcelo got on that pitch. He's anyway, but yeah, legend in the game. Clap him off. Get through some of these comments.
all these Brazilian players, I always just say, let them go enjoy Carnival.
Just
Let
go
them go
back.
play in Brazil and enjoy Carnival. Let them go play in Brazil because they've earned their stripes
Oh
in
my
Europe.
gosh, that's beef. Go to the comments.
Oh wait. Oh, Ugo. Ugo says, Sam, you're gonna hold it, red or dead, but die.
Oh
Isco
wow.
leaving. Yeah, he's been out of favor for time, man. It's time. It's
The
time.
thing about someone like Isco, by the way, we need to get onto the other games, but quickly on Isco. Isco's one of them players like you always Isco and like people like Lingard, like you always think they're young. Isco's like 30, bro. It's
Let me
like
see how old Isco is. He's
Isco's
been
30,
about for
like
a
he's at
second.
29 or 30.
He's 30 still. He's 30. You're
See,
right.
Isco and Morata, them man are all the same age. Remember they came through together. And
Literally.
Aspie's like a year or two older than them, I remember. But yeah, hold on. Banks, you're 100% right. City have never had to show nothing. Go to the comment underneath, please.
Oh wait,
No,
not that
just
one.
underneath that one.
019 season, I'll give it to them. Came from behind after we
Split.
slipped in January.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
All right,
Okay,
man. So you're going Manchester City title win. Just to round off on that one.
yeah.
Wait, oh, says Shemi put Isco and Lingard in the same sentence. Wow.
I didn't say anything about their ability. I'm just saying those players that you always think is young.
I ain't trying to die young, so I ride
You know
with
what I
one.
mean? You know what I mean, though. He's just trying to get a bite. Isco have been so brazy, man. Malaga. What? Tell him, Banks. Tell Nathan about the old days.
The thing about the old days, they're the old days,
The old days, Nathan.
bro. The guys eat. Wait, bro. The guys EPL fans think are young is Nacho and Vasquez. Yeah, these are some old. That's the thing though, because these have just been quiet. Like all of Real Madrid's success over the last decade, these guys have just quietly been in the background of them. Like you see the UCL free peach, you'll see these guys in the background. They weren't ever no stars of them, but they were definitely in the pictures. They were
Role
definitely in
players.
the pictures.
This man, you know, some of these Real Madrid people that are role players that you think they're young. You know how you find out their age? Count how many Champions League honors they have.
Literally.
Banks.
Oh,
Let's
wait,
go
you're
to
there
the.
14?
Let's go to the. Let's go to the. Let's go to the what people are trying to call the top four race.
All right, man. Context type. Let's give you the table context. Tottenham, after being 4 points behind Arsenal with about 4 games to play, managed to. You don't want context. I'm trying to give the people some context.
Tottenham go to Carrow Road. They need to win. They need to not. They can draw or they can win, and then they qualify for Champions League football. Arsenal need Norwich, who are relegated, to beat Tottenham. For them, and they also have to beat Everton, who, credit to Everton, avoided relegation yesterday with a pitch invasion, and we can talk about Vieira wrapping some of their fans up. But yeah. So that's context.
Thanks for the context. Thank you.
That's done.
It's done. You don't have
There's
a hope.
nothing. There's nothing. What do you mean? What's my business?
You don't have hope.
Hope for who?
For Arsenal.
Why would I have hope?
Spursy.
Listen, I've already told you. Remove me from that club.
I'm
told you I'm
Arsenal.
taking.
Whenever I speak to you about Arsenal for the next 24 to 48 hours, just know I'm asking you as
20,
a
20
pundit, not as a
24
fan,
months. Months.
No, you're not getting that blind. You're not getting that blind.
24 months. I'm not doing this.
I've seen you in Arsenal kits
When
this season.
if I get my SV season ticket, season ticket, you can't refer to me as Arsenal fan for the whole season.
If you get your what?
Fleet season ticket. It's your local.
Fleet. Man, I'm claiming Fleet.
Learn about your local.
Stadium.
I have been to the stadium. I live right there. I'll show you. I'll flip the camera now.
There's no camera. I don't care about the footage. There's no footage to show me.
I'll flip the camera now. Hey,
No
anyway, my point being that's done. Why it's done. And you know, I actually don't want Arsenal to qualify in any way, shape, or form because you don't deserve the fans. You have lost the fans. I say that because it can't be in your hands so much, and then all of a sudden you have Arteta saying, I still believe it's possible. Stop. Just
he even
stop.
said, did you see his latest interview?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw his presser. He said something like it's not like what did he say? Like it's not impossible, like it's still possible.
He said after we finished the last match and we're on our holidays, whether we're in the Champions League or the Europa League, we can reflect on this as a good season.
And that is a notorious loser. That is a single-handed, like that is a notorious loser. Because I'm hearing some Arsenal fans say at the start of the season, "You give us 50, we'll just snap your hand off." But what are we doing here? Like this got to ask. Everyone's got to ask themselves, what we trying to do here? Do you get what I mean? What are we trying to do here? That's what I don't understand. But like, what are we trying to do here? Like, if you give West Ham, if you give Rangers at the start of the season a Europa League final, they would have taken it. But does that mean they don't want to win or they want to lose on the penalty shootout? Does that mean that they can't be pissed off at Aaron Ramsey? What are we trying to do here? Do you get? When did we start doing that? It's like you're in bottom set. It's like, oh yeah, I could, even though I'm in third set now, like, oh yeah, shouldn't have been looking at getting to first. No, you want to improve. Your shit changes. That stuff's changed. You get what I mean? I don't understand when people say, oh, like, bit your hand off. No, stop. And that is the mentality. I've never heard winning teams never ever say that. And the mentality comes from upstairs, from up and down. You push both ways. It comes from above and it comes from below. As in below being the fans, upstairs being the board. And you look at it, and I always refer to, as much as I hate, I always refer to Chelsea, because I love what Chelsea are loyal to, and it's the W. By any means, shape, or form. By any means, shape, or form. Chelsea will sell their child to win anyone. And that's not like an exaggeration. Who's their children?
Who's the Mount? Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
No, I mean, like, but who's the Chelsea, like, go?
Oh, Lampard. I see.
It's Terry, Lampard, Drogba, and out of all of them three, if you put them up there, who's their goat? Like, who's out? You have to rank the three. It's Lampard. No blemishes on Lampard's record. Drogba's black, so racismo. He's never going to be number one. But Lampard, and you see what they did to him for the W. Who's the greatest coach in their history?
Jose Mourinho.
See what they did to him twice. You get what I mean? So my point being, you have to be loyal to the W. You can't be saying stuff like, oh. And lastly, to say this, someone said if Arteta was at Chelsea, he would have been sacked about 4 times minimum. By now, would have been sacked 4 times. That's wild. Anyway, Arsenal, they're probably going to finish 5th. Tottenham is going to finish 4th. On Tottenham, I'm going to say this. You've got Conte, which is a good thing. You've got 2 world-class attackers. But be honest, and the media be honest as well. When Tottenham win games, don't just comment and say it's Conte, but you can see Conte's imprint on the team because they've won the game. Because it's so simplistic and it's just a lie. It's actually just a lie. Because Conte how different is how Conte sets up to the previous managers that were there?
It's different to Nuno, at least.
How different is it to Mourinho's?
To Mourinho?
Because I forgot Nuno was there. How different is it to Mourinho's?
I'd say it's different to Mourinho.
Tell everyone, please.
How it's different? Just a bit more defensively secure, I guess. They've found a rhythm in terms of their defensive stability. In the end, attacking-wise, it comes down to Son and Kane, and then they've added a nice piece in Kulusevski.
That's exactly how Mourinho played. It's not different.
My point being, he didn't have the defensive base to go off of.
My point being, it's not different in any way, shape, or form. It's still like springboarding attacks. It's still being compact. It's still being.
Let's be fair.
So explain to me how it's different, because I don't agree with you.
I've said Mourinho never gave Tottenham this defensive base to go off of. Yes, it's one thing giving Kane and.
So you think Mourinho didn't give them a defense? So you're saying he wasn't solid defensively?
The team wasn't solid enough defensively. And I'm not saying Conte's got it perfect, but
so how is that? But that's what he was trying. But that's what he was trying to. My opinion is that's what Mourinho was trying to do, and he was trying to make a set. Exactly what Conte is doing is what Mourinho was trying to do. So the style of play hasn't changed. That's my point. It's just the defense is better, but the style of play, how they move the boys in.
So Conte's done something positive.
But I'm saying like how they move the ball. How they move the ball. They're still trying to be physical.
Well, Conte's never been known for the most attacking, vibrant of football. Like that's never really been his. Like he's counter-attacking.
Same as Mourinho, kind of similar to Nuno.
But if their ones wasn't working, it wasn't working, was it? He's got some players in, and I'm not saying ever like as soon as he came in, it started working straight away. But like,
I don't think it's
time in
working.
the season,
I don't think Conte. I promise you, I don't think what Conte's doing is working. I don't think it's working. I feel like the results, because because of where they are, it's easy to say it's working.
I'm not saying okay. I don't know. I don't know whether working.
Where are they?
What do you mean?
Because honestly speaking, where are they? Because obviously, ifs, buts, maybes, but should they be there?
They should be there because
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're lucky to be there or anything like that. Because everybody made their mistakes. You play your game, but I'm saying that they lost. Like, okay, they beat Man City. They lost like the next 2 games. They drew the one after. And this is when everyone, because people throughout the season, people say Conte is doing well. Conte is doing so well. What I'm saying is Tottenham do so little to get so much praise. They'll say Conte is doing well. And then all of a sudden, he'll lose his 2 games. Everyone goes quiet. They'll win 2 games in a row. Oh, you can really see what Conte's imprint is on the team. We'll see next season. That's what I'm saying.
agree. I think we'll see next season again. I don't feel like we've always said that the top 4 races is a race to the bottom. It's the battle of the bozos.
It's a race to the bottom.
They've had to be better than Arsenal and United Arsenal, United, and West Ham in order to get this top 4 spot, and they have been that. Again, they're all maybe you and Arsenal and Spurs have been pretty much tired, and you lot bottled it last couple of games. But again, he's given them something like before. When Nuno was there, you wouldn't even put Tottenham in this conversation. So he's given them something to work off of this season. Again, whether
I'm gonna give him Kulusevski. That's what I'm waiting for you to say. Bringing in Kulusevski and bringing in Bentancur. That is credit where it's due. Everything else in terms of style of play, I think it's so lazy. But anyway. Let's move down the table.
Wait, sorry. There's just one thing about Arsenal I wanna get your thoughts on before we go. Leave this topic. So obviously, like when the season first started, what did you think Arsenal's? Because there's ways of looking at Arsenal's season that I want people to, because people are saying
before the 3 losses or at the start of before the ball was kicked.
Start of the season. Like, did you think
7th?
You get 7th? Okay, so. Obviously, we know United fell off, and Leicester, who was supposed to be in the mix, fell off. What do you make of the season overall, then, considering the fact that you thought they'd finish 7th? What do you make of the season? Because obviously, we know your thoughts that you think Arsenal bottled it to at the end when it mattered most. You know, bottled it. But what do you make of the overall season? And you're going to talk about this.
What do I make from it? Like if I use my mind from the start and then just miss it and just go to the end, because of the overall season for me, it's been a failure still.
Okay. Because
it's black and white for me. It's been a failure because your targets should change as you get to certain places. If you look at the table at the start of April, if you look at the table, take points in the table where it's very doable. Let's not even use last 10 games. Let's use last 6 games, last 4 games, last 3 games. It's bad. It's bad. You don't end like that. And I don't want to hear project or young team, because they're the same people that got us to that situation. The blueprint wasn't hard to really just push through. Play for a draw at Spurs. You can even lose to Newcastle. That result doesn't change because you got popped. Now Everton's going to be at the beach because they're safe. Win that. And you're at home. You beat Everton at home all the time. Like there's no thought process behind it. And then also it's a failure in the sense that actually it's a success because to a certain degree in terms of the transfers. I didn't expect Tomiyasu to be good. I didn't expect Ramsdale to be good. Tavares is not that good. Lokonga, kind of a waste of money. But that's 2 out of, I think we bought 5, and Ben White's good. So 3 out of 5 is decent. In terms of your league finishing, why I say it's a failure is because we were told you're not leaving the country this season. And everybody used Chelsea's Conte's bounce back as a blueprint. They finished 10th. They won the league the next season because they weren't leaving the country. They were just playing domestic games. They need to stop banging. You're hilarious. Yeah. So you're not leaving. So now you're going to finish 5th. A tournament that is always ridiculed, even though it's accepted more now, Europa League. Europa League, you're going to be in that. You're playing a lot more games in Champions League because Europa League's more games. You're traveling a lot more. Your squad's thin. You're saying you're going to improve your squad. Whatever, we'll see it when it happens. But it's going to be even so because why I'm saying it's a failure because it's the perfect opportunity for you to get fourth. It's a lot harder to get fourth this season. Next season. And I'm not even giving the whole cliche thing, everybody's going to be better, because that's actually never always the case. They say that everyone's going to come back stronger. That's never the case. That's rarely the case, sorry. But just if you analyze yourself, what you're going to be doing next season in comparison to this season, it's a lot harder. You're traveling more. You're playing more games. Your squad, definitely people are leaving. We're not guaranteed who's coming back. People are definitely leaving. Several contracts are run out. So it's going to be harder to get fourth. And if you couldn't get fourth in this one, obviously that's not how things work, but it's harder for you to get fourth next season. That's why I'm saying it's a failure. It's a very significant missed opportunity.
Nathan made a good point. It's going to be one of the final points on Arsenal. Saliba, obviously rumors coming about today that he's interested in joining Marseille on a permanent deal after
that's heartbreaking. And I feel like that's heartbreaking. And I feel like if that happens, Arsenal fans should riot.
Riot?
Yeah. Arsenal fans should riot. I remember when, what's the most recent one that something happened? Obviously, it didn't turn out to be anything significant. But I remember when West Ham lost not Danjuma. What's Diangana? What's it to West Brom?
Diangana. It was Diangana.
It was Diangana. They were fuming for like the first 3 games of the season. And Diangana was
those bad vibes.
For the first 3 games of the season, when Diangana was playing well for West Brom, I think West Ham also was losing at that time. I feel they did something. I don't know. That's when they turned around to the box at Karen Brady.
It
was, isn't it? When they gave them the death stare. But they were shook. They were scared. You have to start ruffling feathers if Saliba goes, because it is a banker that Saliba is going to be world class. It's guaranteed. Obviously, rival fans won't admit it now because he's an Arsenal player. But if he leaves, goes to Marseille, and obviously he's not going to be at Marseille forever. He leaves, you lot would see it. He's going to be world class, and because he's going to go Qatar. He's going to go Qatar.
He wants to play. Shocking. He wants to play. He knows there's a World Cup on the line, and he's been involved in a few French squads. It's shocking. You don't make that face. You know it's shocking. Don't make that face. He wants to be involved in the French squad. No. You're digging yourself a hole. Shocking. I'm gonna speak to CJ about that. Speak to production. But it's just crazy that it's 3 years into his 5-year deal and he's not played a single game for you. If he'd been involved in Arsenal squads and he played some games, but he got sent out on loan, I can imagine why he'd want to come back. But right now, literally got apart from Arsenal fans on Twitter, he's literally got no real attachment to the club. That's his problem. Like it feels easy. I think it must feel easy for him to leave because he's never really felt no love.
Once again, you have to look from upstairs, and if upstairs not doing their job, from down you have to press. You have to press Arteta out. They've given him a new contract. He's a virus. Why I say he's a virus is because it's never been so clear a man who is so insecure about any tackle of authority. So insecure, significantly insecure. People saying project youth, like young people, is a project. Do you know why it has to be a project for Arteta? Because they won't challenge him. They're young. And then it's going to get to a point where Saka turns 24 or 25. And then it's going to be spun as he left because a bigger team came. Nah, he left because, one, you couldn't control him and you can't pattern the situation because he's now a man and he will eventually start challenging Arteta. There's a reason why you're signing 21, 22, because they're all using this as a springboard. And that's why it's very stupid when Arsenal fans are saying, oh, in a couple of years' time, we'll be up there. No, that's not how it works because they're going to leave. The senior players, the only senior players he kept are ones that fall in line. Have you noticed? Every senior player that's a little bit defiant, how does he handle it? He gets rid of them or he tries to push them to the side because they're not good enough and the fans don't really care about them, so it's fine. But
barely seen Lacazette since he did that
since he did
interview
the
about wanting
presser,
to be the
since he did
CEO.
the presser about wanting to be in the CL, Aubameyang, Ozil, you've seen them. David Luiz, yeah, he didn't handle it well. Who else was there that was a bit defiant? But there's been many players. If you
Guendouzi, man in a
when
boy's
Doozy,
body.
yeah, if you're a fiery young player as well, it's like the only one that shocked me is Nketiah. But I feel like his back was against the walls that he had to change
Yeah, he was
something.
on his knees. It
Do
was
you
on
get
his
what I
knees.
mean? So I don't know. Even for Larry, Balogun spoke out a little bit, and it's like nah. So he's just very very insecure, and you can't have a manager like that. You can't have a manager that doesn't like being challenged any way, shape, or form, especially and why he's insecure is his lack of experience. Do you get what I mean? I can talk about this for days, and I'm sure everybody wants us to move on. So let's move on.
Let me get some comments on the board. Him and Guendouzi free from the shackles of that Spanish war criminal, and hooping. Reece Nelson hooping for Feyenoord. He should go there on loan again. What are you saying? Or just are you ready to cut your losses with Reece, or you trying to see him back in
I'm
the
personally like I don't really care.
get him in, get him out? You don't really care.
He just have a good life, like a good brother, man. Ever since
Non-negotiable.
CJ saw him at Morley's, I said nah.
Arteta defo the man that snitches on you at work for having 5 minutes longer than your break time. When Bougie, the crook, tried to bring on Pepe to save him, effing Dossa.
Another mismanagement. Because even though I get onto Pepe about how what he lacks in terms of his intensity as well, because what Pepe lacks is intensity and sharpness. It's like imagine playing FM and then someone's like on abysmal form, like morale's down, and you just try to bring him on 5 minutes every fourth game. It's not gonna work. The management of Pepe has been poor as well. He's not sharp. He's shot of confidence. He's not sharp. Whatever. It's just complete mismanagement. And now he's even mismanaging Emil Smith Rowe.
You think so?
Yeah, significantly.
Talk about it quickly. We still got a little bit of time on Arsenal. How's he mismanaged?
He's mismanaging Emil Smith Rowe. Firstly, pushing Emil Smith Rowe to the wing is not good. I don't think it works. I honestly don't think it works. His job is in the middle of the park. Now the problem is him and Odegaard don't play well on the same pitch if they play in the middle of the park because they've played centre mid together before around that in an attacking setup and the system, and it doesn't work. They were both bad. But the problem is he favors Odegaard so much. They can both play bad, but one's not. Odegaard's definitely going to play the next game, and that's not good. That's demoralizing. Like when you know, okay, I played bad, so did he, but like, why is he getting more favor than me? So just man management is a very significant part of management. And I go back to watching Ferguson today, and I was just looking at like it's just why Ferguson's actually the greatest. I never said he's not. So why Ferguson's actually the greatest is because his man management's sublime. It's supreme. It's the highest level. Like the ESR one, you can see everyone else is so clear, but the ESR one's so subtle because it's early. But I can see it going left still because he needs to find something that works because you're going to start benching Odegaard. And ESR is an asset, it's a significant asset. What do they want? 35 mil for him. That should only be getting higher. But it's regressed towards the latter stages of the season because he's not handled it well. He's not a left winger.
Nathan said Arteta's going to kill ESR and Sacco, not resting them. Man saved them versus Wolves and was in the basement for months. I think he's talking about Pepe here. And yeah.
Even Lokonga got man of the match against Newcastle. Newcastle. I think it was Newcastle. Yeah. Lokonga got man of the match against Newcastle, who was dropped for the next 5 games. And then you lose sharpness, you lose fitness, or even if you're still sharp, you're confused as to why you're not playing. And then you feel like, okay, now he's going to start me the 6th game after. I need to prove. So when you're playing with a chip on your shoulder, not everyone can play well in them circumstances. When you feel like every touch, every pass, every shot, every dribble matters because it's like, okay, I don't want to give this man an excuse to take me off. I really don't like the man management behind Arteta. It's demoralizing. It's demoralizing because it's not going to change. It's like he has his favorites and he's stuck by it. At least with all these other world-class managers, there's a halfway point. Conte didn't like Diego Costa, but it's like, win me the league. Okay, now you've won. Go. Do you get what I mean? Certain players, like certain people you don't like, but the great managers put that aside for because you have a common goal of just winning.
How many players has wanted to leave Pep and then he'll put them back in the team and
He'll put you back and then you're smiling again, and then you leave in summer. But your work's done because you've won the league.
That's another problem with you. Like, all you need is like a good 4-5 games for Arsenal, and your squad players that should really be out the door will get a new contract. Like
discussing Elneny again.
I saw hella Elneny prop after the last couple of games. They were talking about giving him a new contract. He's a good presence around the dressing room. I was just thinking, damn. Imagine if we tried to give Matic a new contract just because he's a good presence around the change room. I'd be fuming. Well, Arsenal fans love that sort of stuff. Like you lot think it's a playground.
They love it. You think it's a nursery. No, you think it's a nursery. You think it's a day nursery. You think it's a daycare, and it's not what it is. We're trying to win stuff, and Arsenal fans have lost. You know, this is my last point. When I argue with Arsenal fans, the first thing I ask them, based on what they say, is, "How old are you?" And more often than not, you know what they actually say? They get a bit defensive, and they say their age, and more often they're older than me. Then I'm so confused as to, so why are you so mediocre and lackluster in your expectation? Because you grew up, you should have grown up with more winning than me. So why are you accepting this?
Ricky said, chill out. Matt have been here for 4 years.
I was going to bring up Mata, but then I stopped because he's doing his badges.
Yeah, Mata's just there, man. I can't lie.
No, Mata's doing his badges. That's why he's there.
Doing his blogs, doing his badges. Pepe had Sane, he put up crazy numbers, but let him go because he wasn't buying in. Hey, man.
After. But the season he let him go, he used him.
What was it? It was
he used
that was even the season. That was like when he just came back from his long-term injury, I swear. That's when he went.
He didn't go in January.
Huh? No, not January. He came back in summer. What? He had the injury. He was gonna go. What was it? 2019 summer.
Mm-hmm.
He got the injury in the Community Shield. So literally just after
yes,
he basically.
You're right.
He was hard for City in the run in that 2019 league title. It was hard going in. But he still went, like, Sane wanted to leave. Like, Sane is one of the stronger world players that I've seen play for Man City, because usually Pep just breaks you. Like, he'll bench you. You'll say you want to leave.
Pep violated Sane.
He benches you and then he brings you back in, and then all of a sudden you wanted to say it happened to Laporte, it happened to Sterling, happened to
Laporte, Sterling, Bernardo. It's happened to Jesus, happened to Aguero.
Sane, he stood on it. He said he wants to go. Like, there's nothing that Pep couldn't do nothing about that.
Cool, fair enough. Yeah. Let's quickly go to the bottom.
Let's go to the bottom. Context time. This one, script writers went crazy. 37 games played. Burnley leads 35 points each. It's a shootout on the final day of the season. Burnley are facing. Let me get this.
No,
Burnley are facing Newcastle, and Leeds are facing
Brentford. Leeds got Brentford. But the problem, Leeds fans are not optimistic at all.
They shouldn't be. They genuinely shouldn't be. They shouldn't be.
Oh, because obviously these guys have a bit of history from the Championship as well.
Oh yeah, Pontus Janssen used to play for Leeds.
Yeah, Pontus
even before that. What was it? I saw Leeds fans in the changing rooms or making a song about Thomas Frank.
Yes. So there's a bit of beef between Leeds and Brentford, and this even back. Apparently, that Mapai used to celebrate in front of Leeds fans all the time when he used to pack them. He used to pack them when he was at Brentford. But yeah, there's a bit of a history between the two, and like Brentford always get the better of them at the Community Stadium at Brentford. I went playing there before, but yeah. So I just want Leeds to win, man. Leeds at least draw, because Brentford.
You don't want the cheaper brick on some of these Leeds players.
managers Leeds in it, so it's good lad.
Wait, your managers Leeds, your CEO, your head is Rangers. There's a lot of mixing.
Listen, what do you mean there's a mix? Because it's not a London thing. When you bring people from all around the world, People be supporting their locals. Go get your Dulwich Hamlet season
Stop
ticket and let go of that
stop
Man
talking to me
United,
about
man.
Dulwich Hamlet. Stop talking to me about Dulwich Hamlet because I'm
Go
out.
support your locals, man. You're not out anywhere. Go
I'm
support. Go to Wycombe Wanderers. Support your locals, man. It's not just Man United.
I
They
am
support
out.
Man United from Dulwich, man.
Who do you think? Who do you think is staying up? Who do you want Leeds to stay up?
I
or who
want
do you
Leeds
think-
to stay up, but I think Leeds going down because I just don't feel like they're going to get a result at Brentford. Brentford's a solid very solid at home. I don't know I don't know, and I can't put my finger on Jesse March. I don't know if he's got a clue or if he's just winging it, kind of like I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like he's in a weird situation because he got the job a little bit early where he could make a change, but I feel like he was maybe scared into changing so much, so he didn't imprint any sort of like style of play or any system. Obviously, they're not running around as frantic anymore, which is the default. Which is the first thing you're going to do if you're going to change from a Bielsa system. I just can't see anything. I feel like they need new. I feel like Dan James didn't work. He's a clown as well. He's sent off in it.
I mean, that was a disgusting, nasty, filthy challenge.
Yeah,
he's being linked to Italian teams. I saw one. Who was it?
They should flog it. They should, as soon as possible, they should cash that in. Anyone, if they could get 20 mil for him, they've done it. That's a job. That's an Italian job. But they, in terms of Leeds, I don't know if they could get a result. I really want them to. And you know how the game works. Watch how drab Newcastle are going to be against Burnley. Just watch. Joe Linton and Bruno G.
They've signed off in front of their home fans already.
Bruno G and Joe Linton. Watch what they do. Watch the 6 out of 10s they drop.
Their season's done. They're done.
I'm gonna absolutely love. I'm gonna love it when they get relegated next season.
You say Newcastle are gonna get relegated. The hate in you is strong. I love it. I love to see it in you. They said Lavish ain't a hater. I said let Lavish get in his hating bag once. Let's let him get in his hating bag once in a while. Once in a while, he'll show you his colors, fam. He'll show you his colors.
I'm actually not a hater.
No, you're a hater. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. How can you say Newcastle are gonna get relegated next season? That's just the hate talking. That's the hate.
Oh, clip this and come back in a year.
Clip it. I'll come back in a year. Let me put. You don't think I'm preparing for these things. It's like 57 minutes here, less. You don't think I take my notes. on that cue. I take my notes.
Oh man, fair enough, innit? In terms of the rest of this, how do you think in terms of ranking this season? Obviously, we're not going to rank it compared to the last 30 seasons, but I mean, like, is this up there?
I'm looking at these teams and it's just not. I see about 3 teams that I'd genuinely enjoy watching a majority of their games. Brighton, Crystal Palace, that's only because of the love. They haven't even played great football throughout the season, but that's just the love. Brighton, Crystal Palace. Who else has shone out this season? Who else? West Ham, Villa have not shone out this season.
No, the second half poor. First half decent.
First half got Dean Smith sacked. They've just been mid.
First half of Gerrard.
First half of Gerrard, mid pack, man. They ain't really showing us nothing. Gerrard, come back harder next season.
Who's been the most underwhelming team for you? Let's do that then.
Most underwhelming has to be Manchester United.
Outside your own club, sorry.
Leeds again. Bielsa it was always gonna.
You know who I thought you was gonna say? I thought you was gonna say your goats team, your boys team.
Who?
Not Ralph and them, man.
What, Southampton?
Yeah.
They're about the same. They're about where you expect them to be.
Southampton just avoided relegation, you know. They're like 15, 16.
15. That's usual for them.
They're just about avoided relegation.
That's a Bundesliga team. Just play fast football, open goals, concede goals, score goals. That's them.
Most underwhelming team for me this season outside Arsenal, obviously Man United. I say Leicester.
Oh yeah, that's a shot.
Leicester. Leicester's been horrid, and obviously that's the thing. Leicester can get away with being a middle class, like a middle team, because there's no lights on you. But if we're being completely honest, Brendan Rodgers could have lost his job this season. Could
I
have lost
find
his
it so
job.
funny. I tweeted.
Prioritize Europe, and you crashed out of it poorly. And then crashed out of all the cups, and then the Premier League, a dismal display. I'm not hearing you got injuries. Fofana got injured in a friendly pattern. He tried to get Vestergaard, awful. Sionchu got found out. Johnny Evans injury, do something about it. Then obviously your wingers, they've never really come back.
It's a lot of things to do something about.
Okay, your wingers ain't come back. Your wingers really ain't. Sorry, your fullbacks didn't really come back from the serious injuries in which they got. Pereira, I think James Justin, Castagna. I don't know where he's been. I think injured as well.
He's been there, just there.
Yeah. Then you had obviously a Ndidi injury. So Amati stepped up. To be fair to him, Tielemans stepped up. Madison came back. Vardy's been, and then they're not really around. But Leicester's been very underwhelming this season. I would say that because losing Fofana just set the ball rolling in terms of the injuries. But yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, this season it's been an underwhelming season. Like there's been about 3 or 4 bright spots that you can really say. West Ham did their thing, made a top 4 battle for about 7 months of the season, eventually faded away. Had a nice run in Europe. They're gonna go to the Europa League or Europa Conference. They can be happy with their season. It's always good to give your fans a cup run. If you're gonna be mid-table, give your fans a cup run. Or you actually, come on, man. It's too much. But this is why I say there's too much money in the game now because teams are just there, just looking after them.
Trying to prioritize. Well, you're crap. You're not good.
Give your team a cup run.
Behave yourself and know who you are. Prioritize.
And you're going out to the likes of Stevenage or flipping Ebbs. Like, stop. Give yourself a cup run.
Sidebar, before we leave, just a quick shout out on how disgraceful Everton are. The fact that they pitch invaded, surviving relegation, and they would call themselves a big club. That's all I need to say on that.
I've slept on it and I slightly rock with the pitch invasion. I'm sorry.
No, you're a hooligan.
I'm sorry. Like the vibes looked great. I can't lie. It's a shambles that they managed to might get Patrick.
But how are we pitch invaded? Why are we pitch invaded in the Prem? That's above the Prem. That's above the Prem. I can't lie. The only pitch invasion we've seen was Man City, and that was worth a pitch invasion.
You're right. They shouldn't have. It's embarrassing, really, the fact that Everton are in this position.
No, not even Everton. I'm saying we don't pitch invade in the Prem.
It's very embarrassing that Everton are in this situation, and I genuinely wanted Everton to go down. I will not lie. I wanted to see Lampard relegate Everton, but when that header from Calvert-Lewin, when that header went in, I was like, oh. I was genuinely look like that. That's if there's a header to save a team from relegation, let it be that type of header. I didn't mind the pitch invasion at the end. I can't lie. The comeback at the second half comeback, the goals to secure it, I didn't mind it. I slept on it. I was like,
no
you
class,
know what?
man.
I messed
No
with
class.
it.
Anyway, no class, but whatever.
I'm sorry, man. I ain't got a shred of class, man. I ain't got a shred. But that's been the final thirds preview for the final day of the Premier League season 2021 to 2022. Thank you for joining us, man. We're one game away from ending this abysmal season. I'm sick and tired of the Premier League. I'm sick and tired of some of these players. I want to see the back of them. But we still got Champions League as well. Make sure you lock into our Champions League review content after this season is done. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow us on the socials. Yes, I am a fairy tale fan. Of course I am. End of the day, I just want to see my tackles and headers. That's so wrong. Tackles and headers. Next season, we're back in the studio. Facts. We ain't running from the grind. Back in the studio next season. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. All of that good stuff. I've been your host, Banks, joined by my faithful co-host, Lavish. Join us again on Sunday to review the final day of the season. Have a lovely, lovely evening and good night.
now listening to The Final Third.
I think Pepe's so coachable.
Wow, you should be in
Just need to shake him.
You should be in prison. We bailed you out. We bailed you out to come and play this season. You're out here just